everyone? Shane Jenkins here with a special edition of Liberty's Cage live at the America First Warehouse. Thank you to Joe the Box, Teresa, the whole crew, everybody, the people in the room upstairs, the control room. But what a pleasure to be here, and what a pleasure to have my friend Robert Morris of Lego Man Productions here. I got to introduce him to Joe and get him out here to the studio, and it's just been such a wonderful last few days. Tell us a little bit about what's been going on, Rob, or tell the audience a little bit about what's been going on.
The last couple of days have been incredible. I got to relive the glory days of being a ranger. We went to a undisclosed location in New York, and I was able to have a lot of fun like I used to back in the day, when I was a ranger. That was cool. Still got it. My abilities are still there, and we were able to go to Teddy Roosevelt's home today, and come to find out he's read 50,000 books at least once, and they're all in the house. I mean, it's just amazing. So the American heritage, the pride and country, the Second Amendment, love of God. We walked the grounds yesterday and blessed it. We anointed everything with oil and, put up barriers and wards around the house so that the Holy Ghost could protect the warehouse.
Had Bible study too?
Had Bible study. That was powerful. Cool. We read the Psalms that we recited while we were locked up. I mean, it's just been action-packed, meeting a lot of amazing folks. And it was incredible. And Joe the Box really likes how I called this J6HQ. So yeah, that'll stick around.
No, I think it's brief. It's 4 letters or a number and 3 letters, but J6HQ. I do think that we are very, very thankful to have this opportunity here at the America First Warehouse. Joe has opened the doors for us and many, many other J6ers, but it is just, and I know you'd never been, and I know you probably didn't know what to expect. I've been up here probably 3 or 4 times.
I was mind blown.
I was mind blown. From all the memorabilia to just the people. I'm a Southern guy, and New York people were a little kind of like loud and boisterous, and I've kind of always been able to be seen and not heard, and just kind of quiet. Yes, ma'am, no, man, very. But I thought, I don't know how this is going to go over, like meeting all these people from New York, But man, I will say that I've never met a group of patriots like the people here at the America on Long Island. We're on Konkoma. Just phenomenal people who love this country.
They put it all out there. They're loud and they're proud. They don't care. No, they got that Trump attitude, I
like that. I can be a little. I don't want to say. I can just be a little quiet at times. Like sure. I don't want to. I like to put myself out there too much. But
if these people here are going to be passionate about anything, it is abundantly obvious that they're passionate about Jesus Christ, our incredible country, our Constitution, and Donald J. Trump.
Well, and they're suffering right now in Manhattan. They've got Mom Donnie and all that, and you got. They had the whole Jake Lang incident where they threw bombs at Jake Lang. That's sort of not Jake, but at the group of patriots protesting the outside Mom Donnie's
Midnight
house.
Almost got killed, man. It was crazy.
It was just terrible. We don't necessarily agree with what Jake Lang's techniques. He is a human being and doesn't deserve to have his life put in danger. And I don't necessarily agree with his delivery of the things he's doing. However, that doesn't give anybody the right to attempt to take their lives.
At the end of the day, he's an American.
Right.
And if you worship Muhammad and you would prefer Sharia law, then you are anti our American Constitution because they completely contradict one another. Right. So at the end of the day, I'm going to back Jake Lang over a Muslim 10 times over because, we don't want our country looking like the places that I used to go fight wars in when I was a ranger. Yeah. That's my living nightmare, and I'm watching it take place on American soil.
That's right. We got so much to talk about. Like tonight, we've got live at Studio 6B. I think Joy V is going to be here. You're going to get to meet the guys from Studio 6B. Those guys are phenomenal. Also wonderful people on RAV. Get to be on some TV. But I was blown away. Joe kind of tailored the visit for Rob because it was his first time here. We did get to go to the undisclosed location to the range and do some cool stuff that we can't really talk about. But then, because Rob's a history teacher, former history teacher, he was like, let's go do something historical and go to Teddy Roosevelt's family home.
You saw the look on my face?
Yeah.
I was just so blown away.
I didn't know, you go to some museums and it's like, whatever, but I was really, really blown away. There was this room after room after room full of like, oh, what's this? Oh, that was given to him from the Sultan of whatever it was. The,
Yeah,
you know,
the
Persian,
Kaiser this.
Yeah, the Kaiser gave him that.
Emperor
the
of Japan that.
Yeah, like the Chinese empress gave him this, and I'm like,
The leader of Ethiopia this.
yeah, he had an elephant foot trash can, a rhinoceros inkwell on his desk.
108-year-old elephant tusks,
I mean,
8 feet long.
It's crazy. The largest elephant tusk in the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah,
And they had his actual saber that he wore. Like
as a Rough Rider.
They had his horse, Little Texas, is buried there that he rode up to San Juan Hill.
I think to me what blew me away was seeing how much that man squeezed out of life.
Oh man,
You know, I mean,
and he only lived to be 60.
right. So all
Accidentally
these
was
books,
president because the guy before him was assassinated.
Right.
The guy that he was the vice president. And the
it
guy
just kind of goes to show you though, when you love your country, when you trust your guide, and you have a reason to live, you can do anything.
Right.
And I think if, as of right now, if we can adhere to that kind of principle of living, just squeezing every last drop, it's not going to happen from playing video games. It's not going to happen from smoking pot. It's not going to happen from watching football. It's going to happen from fighting for your country, loving your God, and being a man of integrity, and taking up that cross and following Christ, man. And that, dude, I'm just blown away. I'm challenged and inspired by my day today.
Speaking of picking up that cross, and you know, Jesus was the. I'm getting choked up thinking about it, but you're getting married next month.
Yeah.
Jesus was the ultimate. He was the example. The church was the bride, and Jesus was the groom.
Yeah.
And he literally was the example for what the man is supposed to do for the woman, lay down his life for the wife, you know.
Yes.
And it's like it's just a
I'm ready.
That was something that Teddy Roosevelt was, you know, his main focus really was family oriented.
Yes.
That was what he was, you know. The man went through some stuff. He got married, had a daughter, Alice, and then his wife and his mother died on the same day, which was Valentine's Day. Which
So
was
he went
great.
through it.
Yeah.
But you know what I think is interesting? And it kind of reminds me of us to a degree, though I'm not trying to compare us to Teddy Roosevelt. I think that's improper. But what I will say is that because he overcame such emotional hardship, he was able to do all of these things.
Yeah.
And so when I compare that scenario to our scenario, we overcame January 6th, and to a degree, we're still kind of overcoming it. But man, if we can get over that,
Right.
if that can be in the rearview mirror completely, imagine what we can accomplish. And we can do the things that Teddy Roosevelt did because he was able to overcome those things. And it's a testament to every living American today. If you can get over those hardships, the world is at your fingertips.
That's right.
And it's all yours.
Well, you know, and after that, they said that so his sister came home and was there whenever his mom and his wife died, and he was like, she was like, I will take, because he had a brand new, she had just had the baby, and she
Right.
died from, I guess it was some kind of lung, was it
It was a kidney thing, I
it
think.
was a kidney, yeah, kidney
Yeah.
thing. It was something like Bright's disease or something
Yeah,
like that.
something like that.
And then his mom had, I don't even remember, but anyways, both of his closest people to him in his life died, and he went on like a 2-year sabbatical to the Dakotas and went and hunted and did all these things. And I kind of think about like, you know, maybe, you know, we had a very serious talk at the airport diner here last night, and you know, we were talking about, because a lot of, you know, I've shared with the audience a lot of my struggles, but some of the things that I dealt with as a younger man, like, have still kind of haunted me a little bit through my life. Whether it was killing my stepdad at the age of 20 or finding out I was adopted when I was 12 or 13, and then but you were like, what would you go back and tell yourself in those days? And it's just like, what I kept thinking was like, I would tell the younger me, like, you know, don't let this determine who you are. Don't let this destroy you. Like,
Yes.
you know, you gotta. It's like you've fallen. Like, life kicked the crap out of you, but man, you've got to get back up and keep going. And that's kind of like.
For the young
And then you're
man
like, what
within
would you tell the man? Okay, does that advice apply to you today? And you're like,
Yes.
well, you handed me your phone, or you held it up and you had the camera on to where I'm looking at myself in the camera. And you're like, tell yourself that today, because I'm not gonna lie, like, life has been kicking the crap out of me. This post J6 stuff has left me some mental and some emotional scarring, and I don't know exactly what has changed or what is different, but it has been a challenge. There's been some stuff, suicidal thoughts. There's been some, you know, alcohol abuse and stuff like that, and it's not fruitful. It's not beneficial. It's not being a good ambassador. And these are things that I want to, and I have to get through.
Yes.
And you know, you always talk about the hero journey, and you know, I think there's a couple ways. So you can be kind of kidnapped into that journey,
Yes.
or you can
Or you
willingly
can
go into
volunteer.
that journey. And it's like, I have to go back and confront. Like, it's like I left some of the enemy on the battlefield, and I need to go
Yes.
back And whether those are my inner demons or whatever it is, I've got to go back and finish the job willingly to go back and kind of face that. And so,
well, the hero's journey is cyclical. Once you reach the surface world and you're there for a minute, you will go back down into the underworld. And sometimes it's to save yourself, other times it's to save others.
Right.
And you know, our commander-in-chief, Jesus Christ, he went into the underworld after he was crucified.
That's right.
You know, so if anyone went on the underworld journey, it was him.
Here's a biblical fact. I don't know, where did Jesus go after he died on the cross? And when you say, where'd he go?
He didn't go to heaven.
He went to hell. He went down there and
snatched
stormed
the
keys.
Gates, man.
Yeah, he stormed the gates and snatched the keys from the devil. Actually, Mel Gibson is making, I call it, you know, the passion. I call it the passion. It's the Passion of the Christ Part 2. I call it like, what is it? Return of Jesus, like Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, Return of the Jesus.
Jesus Strikes Back.
Yeah, Jesus Strikes Back.
But he goes to hell.
That's not blasphemous, is it?
I mean that in a sincere way, but because Jesus is a warrior, he is like he's not
a fighter, man.
Remember the book Beautiful Outlaw
Dude.
that I gave you in jail? Like, it's something that is. We look at Jesus as like, oh, you know, don't hurt anybody's feelings, love everybody.
We were in Bible study yesterday, and I read Mark 5, where the demons ran up to Jesus begging.
Right.
Jesus, don't hurt us.
Right.
You know, like they knew who he was.
Right.
And Jesus pulled up on thousands of demons and they begged him for mercy.
Right.
That's power.
Right,
That's
please.
mad respect.
Like, let us go into the.
We've been to prison. We know what a situation like that would look like. You know, and shock collars have that kind of respect. Jesus is the ultimate shock collar, you know, so it's like, wow, you know, like that's so cool. So I'm telling you, we have had such an awesome experience here. We've been in the Bible. We've been able to, you know, pour our hearts out in front of camera.
Together,
We pray together. We eat together.
Privately, like
yes,
we've
we've worked out. We've shot guns. We've seen history. It's just been the ultimate American weekend, dude.
It's been a rejuvenating, pleasurable, like, you know.
And that's what makes the America First Warehouse J6 HQ, because you can find that kind of rest here. You can be rebuilt here by Joe the Box and everybody here.
We gotta go to break. We'll be back with more Liberty's Cage special edition right after this.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just two entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW. Making travel great again.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
I'm sure you guys remember the platinum single Justice for All with Donald Trump and the J6 Prison Choir. We'll get ready for round two. We're coming out with Anthem of the Free with High Res and the J6 Prison Choir. It's coming out now. It's pre-sale until December 19th when it drops. Get yours on all platforms, Google Play, Apple iTunes. Get it. It's going to be hot.
Justice for all, our voices ring, the anthem of the free.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see.
Welcome back to Liberty's Cage. I'm Shane Jenkins with my friend and brother in arms, brother in Christ, Robert Morris from Lego Man Productions.
That's right.
We've just been talking about what a wonderful day, what a wonderful few days we've had here. You know, we're crashing here at the warehouse. You know, but you know, Joe's like, man, I hope this is okay. And we're like, you know, we've been. Like, you deployed in combat situations, I'm sure is worse than, you know, than the jail maybe. I don't know if it was worse than that.
It's comparable.
Right, but, you know, but we also slept on the concrete slabs in the jail, like not
Steel
not
bunks,
solid, like locked in those cells for 36 hours at a time, and then
yeah.
you know, so it was funny. We took off Vernon at the Roosevelt from down the hill, and I was like, "You want to race to the gift shop?" And we took off Vernon. I was like, "You got boots on? I've got on tennis shoes." And he's like, "Yeah, let's go.
Let's go."
And we're running. We get down there, and Joe asked John, he's like, "What the hell are they doing?" And John said, "They're free. Look at them. They're running down the hill."
It's beautiful, man. Yeah.
So it is, you know, and you know that was something else that you said.
And
like,
hey, you can sprint, by the way. I got to give you credit, man. Yeah,
old man, I'm
for an old
48
man,
years old,
you're
I can
doing
do it.
good, man. Yeah, I was worried about tripping in these boots.
you were dropping stuff.
Things were flying out the jacket left and right. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
But there's something else you said at our little private dinner we had last night, and it was a video of it was probably like the 90s, like a VHS cassette, and it was like this little boy, and he's got a present, I think, and he's opening it, and he walks around this table and walks up to the camera, and he's smiling, and you were like, man, he goes, and I forget, we just hear kind of what you said about that, and then I'll put my spin on it.
Yeah, I showed you a video that really struck me because, like you said, it's a video of a young kid who's opens up a present, and he's so excited. He's at his birthday party, you know, and I think he runs up to somebody, and he's just excited to see this present that he got. Yeah. It's a gift, and the caption of the video says, "That little boy's still within you. Don't give up on him." Yeah. And I showed that to you because there's a part of you that I know really wants to protect that young boy within you, because no one else in your life was willing to do that. I think that's why you're such a protector. But I showed you that video because of not only how much I love you and I respect you, but it's also because of every man has a little boy within him. And we're still trying to figure out how to protect and how to be there for that little boy when we were abandoned by people we thought we could trust to one degree or another.
And you've lost people in your family behind January 6th, and there's been a lot. You know, I lost people in my family just a different situation with the adoption and people dying off and all that. And I was thinking about it when you told me that, and I was just like, man, I forget that little. Obviously, I'm not the most mature individual, and I joke around and play a lot, but that is the kid in me still. But I think about that little boy, and I'm like, man, I haven't thought about that little boy in so long. Like, he just got the hell beat out of him by life, and you know, I've persevered, and I've used these experiences that I've endured to make the man that I am today. But at the same time, I'm like, man, I've got to protect that little guy, and I've got to understand that, you know, I've got to understand that, like, I can't become the devil that I've been fighting. Like, you know, I've been fighting this fight of these circumstances that I had no control of, that have kind of molded me into the man I am. I've let them beat the hell out of me, and it's kind of like now, instead of conquering those things, it's like I've kind of turned into the bad guy in my life and kind of exhibit some self-destructive behaviors, and there's things that I've got to be, you know, I've got to protect that little boy. You know?
The only one that's going to ever want to rescue that little boy as much as Jesus does is you.
Right, that's right. And I think you have to, I think we have to protect that, and in doing so, I think you learn, like, that's really like self-love, and that's of like.
Well, think of it this way: we're talking about the hero's journey earlier, and if your goal to volunteer to go back into the underworld through the hero's journey is to rescue that younger self of yours, that is a very honorable deed, because in doing so, you will refine yourself as a man. You will confront the demons that you've been ignoring, and then when you have the opportunity to teach the next one in line, you will be the fullest version of yourself, because you have conquered every demon that withheld you from being that version.
Like, I can help you with this, but I can't help you. You need to have experiences and all the different. I think about, like, when you say that, like, going through, you know, alcohol and drug rehab recovery, like AA Celebrate Recovery type program. There's the forgiveness portion of it, right? And it's kind of like, you know, I need to seek forgiveness from people that I've harmed, and then people that have harmed me. Yeah, I need to seek forgiveness for them where possible, or extend forgiveness, right? And then there's the portion of, like, you need to forgive yourself.
Yes.
And you need to forgive God. Like, are the things that you're mad at God for that happened to you?
Sure.
Or there's things that you've done to yourself? Like, I've been probably the most destructive force in my life. But all the things I've been through, I've been far more destructive to my life than those other things. Not to say that those other things didn't play a role in that.
But accepting responsibility.
Right.
is-
Ultimately, I'm accountable for my decisions.
and
Regardless
that's what
of,
makes you a man.
Right. And so that's self-love, forgiving yourself, but also holding yourself accountable, expecting more, and that's part of loving that little boy. I don't if I end up with a life sentence and spend the rest of my life in prison, there's no one to blame but me.
Right.
And then I put that little boy in a cage for forever.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
I could live a life in a cage out here of a free cage, but a cage nevertheless, whether it's like an alcoholic or whatever it is.
Of regret,
Yeah,
of your own machination. There's
not living up to this mission that we've been given, like serving this republic that we've been bequeathed. Like, those are things, like, we literally have an opportunity to do things.
we have a
that
job.
Many people don't have the opportunity.
Or want.
We didn't, and like you say, like, they picked the wrong MFer to do these things, right?
Yeah.
They really
Yeah.
they kicked the wrong hornet's nest, and it's
Yes.
like, I'm thankful that we get to do this, but also I feel like I have got to churn that field and get all the weeds out of it and prepare the soil to till the soul of my heart.
Well, the interesting thing that I want to say too is, and this is the beauty of God's plan, because He has actually designed every single underworld journey specifically for the task in which you have to complete once you're done. And this is the reason behind it. In the underworld journey, you will find the very object that the surface world needs for revitalization. And that's the beauty of it. The more you're willing to volunteer to face your demons, the more fulfilled you are to fix what's broken in the outside world. And that's the very thing that you need to kill or destroy or to organize is the exact same thing you're going to need to use to help someone else.
That's right.
And that's how you know our God is the creator of the universe.
It's funny because I know without a doubt God has a sense of humor, right? You're like,
Oh, yeah.
I used to pray, God, give me patience, and then He'll send the most annoying person to try my patience.
Oh, yeah.
Because how do you get patience? You learn to deal with people who
Yes.
like hit your nerves and make you
Yes.
learn patience, right?
Yes.
And it's like the whole thing. Like, whenever I gave my life to Christ, I literally stood up and I said, "Send me, like, I'll go," right? Like,
Yes.
and I didn't know what I was doing at that time, and I know that in those moments, like, God was preparing me for this journey.
Yes.
Like, and it was like, I didn't. When I gave my life to Christ, I immediately got into politics because I started to care about the unborn, and it was just like this whole. Then that was in 2016.
Yeah.
That was when Trump's first term started.
Which I would like to clarify, there should not be a separation between church and state.
Right.
If you do believe in God, you would believe in protecting the unborn.
Right.
No,
for sure. Well, and at worst, we shouldn't be funding Planned Parenthood and all these things,
No.
especially with taxpayer monies, especially if we disagree with their main mission, which is
How
killing
can you
babies.
say on the dollar bill, "In God we trust," and then use that dollar bill to butcher a child? That's insanity, and that's satanic. I do want to say, though, bringing it back to the day that we've had, we were in Teddy Roosevelt's family home, and we had such an amazing time there. And I couldn't handle it. I needed to stay there for another month to really soak it all in. But something that came to my mind while we were preparing for the show is a quote that I wanted to share with you and to the
absolutely.
audience, because Teddy Roosevelt was an American.
Right.
And right now we're having a hard time figuring out what an American is. And I've been on a couple shows talking about the American identity. What is that?
He was a man's man.
He was a man's man.
He was a
you
father,
know, there's
he was
plenty
like-
of quotes like, speak softly but carry a big stick,
You
you
see
know.
him
And
cutting the trees into like
Yeah.
fingers, and it's kind of like a
yeah, he didn't care what he was wearing. He's going to get the job done. But this is something I want to
Yeah, absolutely.
reference because he knows what an American is.
Right.
It's not someone who's been squatting here for 20 years and
Right.
being an illegal immigrant. It's this. The first requisite of a good citizen in this republic of ours is that he shall be able and willing to pull his weight. That he shall not be a mere passenger, but shall do his share in the work that each generation of us finds ready to hand. And furthermore, that in doing his work, he shall show not only the capacity for sturdy self-help, but also self-respecting regard for the rights of others.
So that's like convicting a little bit, I would say, and I would say to to our audience, like, what are you doing? Look,
Are
I
you
see
a
what
mere
Joe the Box is
passenger?
doing, and the crew, the team here, and I see what you're doing. I see what we're doing. Saying like, we are actively taken action.
Yeah.
And
If you're not doing something personally to help keep this republic as we were in charge by our founding fathers, not only are you a mere passenger, but you are dead weight on behalf of real Americans that are actually trying to keep this republic. I say that in sincerity and love and respect, but life is not about football and distractions. It's about keeping this republic so it doesn't die off in our lifetime.
Well, and like, you might work 80 hours a week, you may not have time, but you may have treasure. You might have, and so you may not necessarily have time to take action. But what I would say is take action and help. You could donate to Lego Man Productions. You could donate to Stand in the Gap.
At a bare minimum, you can pray.
You could come down here and sit in the audience at the America First Warehouse. You can tune into RAV. You can tune into whatever. You can buy the America First media app. I mean, there's things you can do, but you could also get behind a group of people that you know and support that are doing something that are actively
leading the charge.
Yeah, you can say, hey, how can I help, or whatever. And just don't sit back and expect somebody else to save the day.
Because just like that old adage goes, if you walk past someone who's getting mugged and you expect that someone else is going to save that person, everyone's going to have that same expectation, and the person will get mugged and raped and left for dead, and you could have stopped it.
It's like those videos you see that's a prank, but it's like the guy's like smacks the girl, and like it's a prank, but they're seeing if people are going to take action, or somebody snatches a kid, or an old man's meeting a little girl at the park and he's got candy, and somebody walks by and they're like, oh, not my problem. Somebody else will do it. And I think that's kind of...
The only reason why we're January 6ers is because too many good men did nothing.
Right. Well, I think that's kind of the mode of the church is kind of like, God will take care of it. Don't offend anybody. It's that political correctness. And we can get into more into that later, but we've got to go to commercial break. But what an honor to have you here at the America First Warehouse and to be here with Joe the Box and the crew. We'll see you back with more Liberty's Cage right after these messages.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, with Shane Jenkins going deep for some gold.
Hopefully not. I don't want to have to use this to dig up our own gold, but fortunately we do have a place called soundmoney.info/Stand in the Gap, and you can help us at Stand in the Gap and all the J6ers accumulate some wealth for their families and their future.
There is a better way.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
Live from Studio 6B on a Friday night, live at the America First Warehouse. Live at the America First Warehouse on a Friday, Real America's Voice, all across the country, 103.9 LI News Radio, all across your radio, Suffolk County, Long Island. Glad you're in.
If the vote count is accurate, then how come the number of voters is different? And if it's not accurate, then why was it certified? We are suing Letitia James and the New York State Board of Elections for a conspiracy against fundamental rights. This is not about who won. It's not about what party. It's about the fact that they don't care about your rights.
It's me, Joe the Box, and I'm John the Blanket with the America First Podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino Podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome back to the America First Warehouse. What we're still doing? Fighting! Every day, all day long.
Welcome to the Patriots Podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode of Liberty's Cage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. Podcast. Be free, stay free.
The America First
Welcome back to Liberty's Cage. I'm Shane Jenkins with my friend, my brother in Christ, Robert Morris, and here at the America First Warehouse, having a great time. We've got to shout out Sugar Creek Goods, promo code Liberty.
Yeah.
Go to sugarcreekgoods.com to get the best soap and other items around. Just take
And
a look
hair
at
conditioner.
Hair conditioner.
Check this
yeah.
out. I would not have these luscious locks without the help of Sugar Creek Goods.
Insect repellent,
Yeah.
whatever you need, sugarcreekgoods.com, promo code Liberty. You guys get a discount with the promo code. We get a little kickback, a little sponsorship, whatever. But we recommend their products, and they're good American people made in Indiana. Oh, hey, okay. The American First Warehouse, Mike Lindell, MyPillow.com, promo code. What is it?
TAFW.
TAFW, the America First Warehouse, TAFW. Go to MyPillow.com. And I got a good story to tell of Mike Lindell.
Okay.
The American people had been so generous to me while we were in the D.C. Gulag, and I'm a part of a prison ministry in Houston, Texas called Charm Prison Ministry, and I wanted to do something nice for the ministry because those guys are coming out of prison. And I was thinking about it in there. I was like, what would be really cool is if we could get some pillows donated to the jail in the DC DOC, and we could have good pillows.
Gosh.
And I was like, you know what? Screw that. What I want to do is I want to donate 50 pillows to the ministry just because the American people have been so good. And Don and Donna from Cowboy Logic heard about it, and they reached out to Mike Lindell's team, and they said, you know what we would like to do? We would like to donate the pillows for him, and so he's not gonna have to pay for them. We'll just donate them to the ministry for him. So they donated 50 pillows, and
Wow.
I know Mike Lindell gets. I like Mike Lindell. A lot of people may not like him or whatever, but I will say that they were very generous and they were kind. They were good to me and good to the J6 community, and they were good to the ministry. So shout out to Mike Lindell again. That's mypillow.com, promo code TAFW. Get your pillows. I actually have a MyPillow pillow. And that thing, like, there could be 10 pillows on that bed, and I'm going to find the one, mine, and that's the one I use. MyPillow pillow is excellent product. It's got these little, like, lumps in it that are actually the foam in it, but, I sleep the best with that pillow.
It's made with love.
There you go. It's like unicorn horns and butterfly wings. Puts it
I don't want to sleep on a unicorn horn.
I'm trying to think of something nice,
Like
sugar
clouds.
and spice. Yeah,
Clouds.
it's like a cloud in a
Yes.
pillow.
Well, I also want to say, too, you were talking about literature earlier, and Teddy Roosevelt, he was a voracious reader.
Right.
I would challenge the audience to not only read the book Beautiful Outlaw, like you had referenced earlier, but then 2 other books, actually 3. But the other book that I would recommend the audience read is King, Warrior, Magician, Lover, especially if you're a man.
Right.
That's where a lot of these different phases and archetypes that men endure through, they can find guidance from men that have failed or succeeded within those roles and responsibilities in the past. King, Warrior, Magician, Lover, highly recommend those books. I've read it twice now, and it's guided me quite a bit in my understanding of how to be those 4 archetypes, either in different phases or all at the same time. And then the next one I would recommend is Hero of 1,000 Faces. Okay. That's where you really get that initial download of the hero's journey, the underworld journey, the night sea journey, whatever it is. Hero of 1,000 Faces. Tear through that. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about, and you will want to save that little boy within you as a result of reading that book, and then every other little boy that crosses your path in the shape of a man.
I'm gonna have to get these books after the show.
Yes.
Order
Well,
them on Amazon or something.
and the other book that you can get after this show.
There are 2 books you can get after.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, the other book you can get too is called Still There, where I reference you and I talk about how you led me closer to Christ in the middle of hell. It's on Amazon. You can call, or you can get online and find it. It's called Still There. But
it's also on LegoMan.com. Right?
It is on Legoman Productions.
LEGGO.
Yes, LegoManProductions.com with 2 G's.
Okay, Legoman Productions. Excuse me.
Yes, but the idea is that if you had any idea or desire to know what it was like to be a January 6th political prisoner, if you wanted to know what you wrote us letters to survive through, and if you wanted to know what kind of wounds we have in our heart, find that book right there.
There's a copy right here from the American First Warehouse.
Yep. Yeah.
Hold it up here.
There it is. Yep. That's it. That's Still There. That's the book right there. Still There. Written
by you.
Written by me, and it catalogs 41 short stories in 3.5 years worth of trials and torment, but also God's grace. And Shane is in it. He's referencing it quite a bit. And the point of it is not only to educate the American, but also to encourage other January 6ers to outdo this, to outperform this. I told you last night, I am more free today because I wrote this book, because I just got all that stuff out of me.
You stole my thunder. I was about to get into it. You told me, you said, write that stuff down, man. Put it on paper. Actually, the people that from the Bible study took me to get a real New York pie last night.
Yeah.
And they were like, I got to share my testimony with them, and they were like, dude, your testimony is phenomenal. When are you going to write a book? Or better yet, when is Rob's Lego Man Productions going to make a movie out of your life? And I was like, I don't know. We got to talk to Rob. But then you, at dinner, like after that, I went with you to the diner, and you encouraged me to write down, the things that are kind of eating at me, to write those things down and to get them on paper, to get them out so you're not struggling through those things.
Right.
And to just get it, get it on paper. And I think that's something that I am going to look at. I have had the desire to write a book. I already have the name for it. Salvaged is going to be, because God did salvage my destiny from busting the gates of hell wide open. It's a phrase that the minister from Charm uses, but he said, God saved my life from busting the gates of hell wide open, and he literally did, because I was headed down a dark path with no brakes, all gas, no brakes, and so, but God stepped in, and it was crazy, because my adopted mom had to die off, and it's unfortunate. I loved her more than anybody in the world, but it took her, because we had an unhealthy codependent relationship. She loved me too much, really. I didn't ever pay my own phone bill, never paid my own electric bill, all these things, right, that I was unable to become a man. And
sure.
She passed, and God had to take her from me. But
interesting.
Whenever she was gone, he used that.
Yeah.
It was a low point in my life. And I tell a lot of people, especially people close to me, that, it may, whatever you're going through may look bad. The girl I'm dating, a tree just fell in her house, and she's devastated. That was her dream home, and just a bad thing. And it's she's losing all these antiques that she collects and all this stuff. And I'm tell her, and it's hard for her to believe it, but what the devil meant to use to destroy you, oh, you really love this house, let me drop a tree on it for you.
Yes.
I believe God already has a plan set up for that he is going to give you something bigger and better, that you don't even think to. You're so worried about what you lost to look forward to the blessing that you're about to receive. And it's like the little cartoon meme or whatever it is. It's the little girl holding onto this little raggedy teddy bear, right? Mm-hmm. And Jesus is bending over, give me that teddy bear. And he's got the other big giant teddy bear behind his back. Not to say that the bigger one's better, but she wants to hold on to this little ragged one. Yeah. When Jesus already has a plan, I can't give you the bigger house until you get out of the little house.
Well, it's also symbolic too of that metamorphosis period as well. That little boy within you that I showed you the video of, he's grateful for that gift that he got for his birthday, but if he only hangs on to that gift, he'll never be able to hold the hand of a woman that he's designed to marry and love forever. Right. So we can't take any of this stuff with us, only the legacy and the decisions that we make. And so I would encourage the audience to consider that if things are being withdrawn from your life, first of all, they weren't ours. Right. And then second of all, we can't take them with us. Right. And third of all, one of our commandments within the 10 is to not have any gods other than Yahweh.
I will say too, though, it's all in perspective, though, right? If you look at it, we talk about as iron sharpens iron, we talk about the sword being forged in the fire, how that's a violent process.
It's a violent act.
Yeah, and it's the heat and the pressure and the drawing of the dross from the metals that's being purified. There's a lot of things. I call it a pruning, and when you prune a plant, it seems oh, you're ripping my limbs off, my whatever it is, you're ripping portions of this plant off or cutting them off.
Yes.
And it probably is painful, and it probably seems like a bad thing, but it leads to more production and more fruit being produced by the plant, because it's taking these things, these extensions of you that you don't need, that are draining life force from the plant.
Yes.
It's pruning those off, and then now the life force is better channeled to the fruit producing portion of the plant.
Well, I want to zoom out from that, because I think that's exactly what's happening to our country at large. We're going through a pruning process right now. I refuse to believe that we're going to die off.
Right.
I know for a fact that we're going to last another 250 years.
Right.
And you know what? This is why Jesus says to pray for our enemies, because the Democrat Party is the enemy of the American people, and the devil is using them to prune us off. But because of what the Democrats and some Republicans are up to, they're now raising up a whole generation of super proud and motivated patriots that are not going to resist. We're not going to, stop. We are going to literally hang on with our fingernails to the nation that we were blessed with by God and our founding fathers. And so now, because of what our enemies have done, we are literally going to rise to the occasion. Our families are going to be committed to this, and we are going to see the American Renaissance because our work is going to pay off, and we will see our days renewed. We will last for another 250 years because of what our enemies did. Right. Because the fight they picked on January 6th and stealing the election and the pandemic and everything like this, you've risen up a whole generation of people that won't forget and will not back down and are going to save America. In the West, we are going to stop the death of the West. We are going to ignite the American Renaissance, and we are going to see these days renewed. And we're going to walk into heaven's gates, and we're going to shake hands with our founding fathers, and Sam Adams and I are going to have a very nice holy beverage. And he's going to say, how'd it go down there, kid? And I'm going to say, I got a great story to tell you.
Right.
Yep.
Well, we were talking about that yesterday too. How these men that we got a minute till we got to go to break, but these men and women that died in the revolution and all that stuff that had no idea what this would become, and they laid out a map for us to follow, like with such foresight and long-term vision
and hope
for the future. Yeah, and no idea if this is going to work or whatever. And we were talking about, I watched this thing, I forget, it was the Daily Wire. Matt Walsh was talking about the savagery of the Indians, really, that kind of has been skewed by these Marxist, communist, people that write these books and kind of change the story. But our forefathers fought with the techniques of the Native Americans against the British, and it was just this whole thing. Anyways, it was a long time coming, and I'm thankful that we had this nation. I'm thankful that I don't like that we had to suffer alongside each other, but I was honored to suffer alongside you. I'm honored to call you my brother and my friend. We may be back after this, or this may be the last segment, but if so, thank you for tuning in to Liberty's Cage. God bless you.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
It's me, Joe the Box, down at the border getting some gold with Shane Jenkins.
No, Joe, we're going to avoid Montezuma's revenge, and we're just going to go to soundmoney.info/Stand in the Gap, and you can help Stand in the Gap and help January 6 people.
See you there.
See you there.
At the America First Warehouse. Live at the America First Warehouse on a Friday, Real America's Voice, all across the country, 103.9 LI News Radio, all across your radio, Suffolk County, Long Island. Glad you're in.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
I'm sure you guys remember the platinum single, Justice for All, with Donald Trump and the J6 Prison Choir. Well, get ready for round two. We're coming out with Anthem of the Free with High Res and the J6 Prison Choir. It's coming out now. It's pre-sale until December 19th when it drops. Get yours on all platforms, Google Play, Apple iTunes. Get it. It's going to be hot.
Justice for all, our voices ring. The anthem of the free.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to
and feel so comfortable and so relaxed because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. We did get to do another segment, so sorry about if we scared you guys off, but I'm back with Robert Morris. This is Liberty East Cage. I'm Shane Jenkins, and man, this has been a great conversation. I mean, this is probably the best time that I've had on a show, and it's been healing for me. And a lot of people may not know this, but I had to get ordained for Rob's wedding. Rob said, man, in the Gulag, we got to have Bible study and do a lot of stuff. I was fortunate enough to be on detail and to help get those guys out of their cells to host a Bible study, along with Julian Cater and Kelly Meggs and some other people at the time.
Scott Fairland.
Yeah, who were focused on, all the time wanting to go and just earnest in learning God's word and getting familiar with Jesus Christ and having a relationship with him. But, you asked me a long time ago, you said, man, when I get out and I meet my wife, will you marry us? And I say wife, and you don't meet a wife. It's what it says in the Bible. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. So you want a woman who's already walking in positionally and
virtuous woman.
Yeah, and her identity as a wife. Yeah, taking care of her business, being respectful, of herself, of her femininity and her treasure, of who she is, her character, and her
Olivia's such a treasure, man.
Yeah, and so I don't know if you guys know who he's marrying, but Olivia Pollock, her brother Johnny Pollock, they were on the run from the feds. They have a documentary called
God Bless America, Baby.
God Bless America, Baby. I see you getting teared up thinking about her. She is an amazing woman, and I am so honored to play a role in that. I had to get ordained, and I get to be the one to say, "Dearly beloved, we got her here today." And I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to say. I've never done a wedding before, but man, what a freaking crazy thing. It's going to be maybe our first J6 wedding.
It is.
But
I
cannot.
I want to compound on your point because, the first time we had met in 2021, we became brothers real quick. And you had shared how, after being told that you were the worst of men for years, you were invited to a wedding and you were asked to be a best man at a wedding. Right. And I remember looking in your eyes as you were telling the story, and you just said you had never considered anyone would ever think of you in that high of regard, and I never forgot about that. And after having been, kicked to the curb over and over and over again and still choosing Christ as a result in the middle of hell, I was like, I've never met a man who's ever done that against the odds, against himself and against hell that we're trapped in, and I gained so much respect for you for that. And so when I met you again in 2023 and I pulled you aside, I didn't know Olivia back then.
Right.
I just said, dude, whoever it is, you got to do it because you've led me closer to Christ, and you have done everything within your power to do the right thing, regardless of your past, which is the redemptive Christ like grace that we get, from his sacrifice that we do not deserve. Yes, it's just a beautiful, poetic way to tie it all together. And when I think about the day that's going to happen very soon, a little over a month, it's just like God definitely authored that. God has written that. It is written, and it's going to be powerful and beautiful. And April 18th, we're going to make history, not just for the January 6th community, but, I'm going to be a husband, and I'm going to be a father soon. And I'm at the level and maturity where I can't wait to say, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
You get to say that.
I get to say that.
Mr. and Mrs. Morse. I pronounce you.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it. You can't I think about in my life, but God has authored these steps in these days, and it's just such an insane story. If you took, just even to hear you say that, I led you closer to Christ, just blows me away. After the life that I've lived and the things that I've endured, and just to go through, I don't know. People ask me, would you, if you had to go to J6 and do it all again, even though you knew you were going to suffer? Absolutely. Yes. Because as bad as it sucked, there has been some fruit that has been born from that. As bad as it sucked for you, would you have ever thought of starting Lego Man Productions outside of no? Would you?
No.
You'd be a school teacher still. You know what
Yes.
I mean? Like it's just.
But I want to clarify something. Even if none of the blessings happened after our pardon, I had a responsibility to be there because of who my ancestors are, who my Lord and Savior is. And every American should have been there that day. And I know that there's reasons. I had a job interview the very next day. I had payments, whatever it is. But what I can tell you is that if nothing good came from that day, we needed to be there. Because it's the only thing holding tyrants back from taking this country and swallowing it whole is average, ordinary Americans saying, not today and not on this soil because of who my father is. And so, you know, even if it's like, dude, Daniel chapter 3, verses 16 through 18, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are about to be thrown in a fiery furnace. And they say, we don't have to explain anything to you, Nebuchadnezzar. Our God is going to save us from this furnace. We will not bow down to your golden idol. But even if he doesn't save us, we will still not bow down to your golden idol.
That's right.
And that type of biblical defiant attitude, that's what we've got. And that's why our enemies hated us. That's why they wanted to lock us up. But it turned around on them, and now we get to infuse that out to everyone who listens to our voice. That biblical defiance is what made America great. It's what's going to keep America great. And we don't have to fix this country alone.
Well, you know, and I went to church in Indianapolis the other day. Well, my girlfriend sent me this recording. They were actually talking about January 6th.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, and he was basically saying you should honor the government. That's what he said. And I hadn't think about that verse, but you know, and it reminds me of what I said whenever, you know, they offered me the 92 to 115 months. I said, you know what? I said, I would love to consider your plea offer. However, I don't negotiate with terrorists. And my lawyer was like, oh my God, Shane, why did you just say that? I want to win this case. And I was like, are you shitting me? Like, none of us are going home. Nobody's coming out of here alive, and I didn't mean like they're going to kill us, but nobody's getting out of this unscathed. No, we're not going to win. Nobody's winning a case in the DC in the swamp. And I just was like, I say this today, and there were men that were positioned that were like have children at home, that were married, and that were in situations that they had to take plea offers. And I don't knock anybody for that.
Yeah.
But I also felt a responsibility as a leader in the DC pod.
But you were
that I could not take the easy way out.
No.
I could, and I said I would rather take 10,000 years than to capitulate just for the mere thing that you're being a tyrant, a bully.
Yeah.
But also because I refuse to say that I did anything wrong. I've refused to capitulate and kiss the ring and bend the knee and all that. There's one person that I'll bend the knee to, and that's Jesus Christ, right?
And I'll tell you this leads right into the Bible verse that I want to reference, because there's a lot of cowards and pansies out there that want to reference Romans, where it says we have to submit to the governor that's been appointed to us.
Right.
But it also says in Acts 5, verse 29, Peter and the other apostles replied, we must obey God rather than human beings. So if your governor, if your government is ordering you to do something unholy, like giving up your unalienable rights that only come from your Creator.
That's right.
That government has now lost its authority.
Will you say that again? Not from your government.
Not from your government.
Your rights come from who?
But from your Creator.
That's right.
Unalienable rights, which means they cannot be separated from you regardless of what men say in this earth.
Regardless of who's in the White House.
If the government's up to that, they no longer have authority over your life.
That's right.
And all of their stuff gets thrown out the window, and the only authority you have to listen to is God at that point in time. So, Acts chapter 5, verse 29, ladies and gentlemen. If you're looking for an excuse to disobey your government and have obedience to God, like Benjamin Franklin says, boom, there you go, because the Bible said so. And then, if you want to think that Jesus was a pacifist, read the Gospels, because in Luke, at the Last Supper, Jesus tells his disciples to sell their cloaks and buy swords.
Right.
So Jesus is pro Second Amendment.
Right. Well, and to think,
where's this mic? I want to drop it now.
To add to that, what did Peter do when they came to arrest Jesus?
He's chopping ears off, baby.
The Roman soldier's ear off. Like,
maybe that's what we got to do. In the end of the world, I'm just gonna have a necklace of ears on it, and be like all these people I'm chopping ears off of.
These are deep state ears. These are Epstein.
These are Epstein ears.
Epstein Island ears right here.
Ooh, we might have just started something there.
There may be a time that American good men have to do bad things.
There's a time for peace and a time for war.
I don't have a watch on, but I'm watching this thing tick, and I'm waiting for the day. But you know, I don't want to get in trouble. So, I look forward to the day when the American people stand up and say, "By God, enough is enough." You know, like how's that song go?
Oh, by God, we'll have our home again. Oh, by God, we'll have our home.
We're kicking the
by
pedophiles.
blood or sweat, we'll get there yet. By
Kicking
God, we'll
out
have
the
our home.
rapists, the baby eaters, the deep
The
staters,
ball worshippers.
the inside traders, the people who are selling us out to foreign countries, to APAC and all these other entities that do not have the American people's interests at heart, that only are engorging themselves like ticks and parasites on this republic at the expense of the American people and our rights.
At the expense of our children, man.
That's right. And so for our posterity, we have, at some point, we are going to have to stand up. And unfortunately, but fortunately, I'm willing and able and capable and ready to
Our
go.
founding fathers thought so. Yeah.
Just regular people like you and me.
Our founding fathers thought so.
Yeah.
Hey, what's
we
going
got a special
on,
guest
brother?
coming in,
Hop
Joe the
man.
Box, for last
Yeah.
minute. Say something, Joe.
Yeah.
The American people want to hear
Well,
from you.
first I want to say that this is probably the best couple of days of my life, bro.
Oh,
When
man.
I watched you guys and saw what you went through, and then to have you in my house, I was honored to have you, Robert. Honored to have you, Shane. Real, true American patriots. The American First Warehouse, man. We're just so excited to have you. Did you have a good time?
Oh, dude, there aren't the words, brother. There aren't the words. And you know what else is crazy, too? It's refreshing to learn that there's men like you out there that have put it all out on the line, and you don't care. You don't care
And
how
you
much
don't
it
have
costs.
to. That's the thing. You don't
Yeah,
have to.
right.
Trump doesn't have to either.
That's
And
right.
neither
That's right.
do you guys. You guys don't have to do it. There was 1 million people there at least on January
2 million.
6th. 2 million, okay? And there was 70, 80 million people that voted for Donald Trump and support you guys every way that we can. I want to say congratulations on your marriage to another J6er, which is quite an incredible story. Probably found in here. Because I know Shane's in here, so I'm going to have to get to this book and start working on it right away.
You
Make
can
the
read,
biggest
Joe?
book. Show pictures.
Newsflash, Liberty's Cage. Joe the Box can read.
God bless both of you, my friends.
You want to take us out of here, Joe?
I don't see why not. This is the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land, welcoming here J6 HQ.
Yeah. See you next time.